The Windsor College Murders, an audio drama reading by Stargazer. On September 28, 1995, Woodsboro, California police responded to a 911 call for a potential homicide. The first officer on scene is met at the front door of the residence by Sydney Prescott, who states her mother is dead upstairs. The officer discovers the unresponsive body of 44-year-old Maureen Prescott. When investigators arrive on scene, they discover the cause of death to be 4 stab wounds, 2 in the chest, 1 in the groin, and 1 in the head. Sydney tells police she saw Cotton Weary, age 27, leaving their residence before finding her mother's corpse. Police find Cotton Weary intoxicated at his residence, and when they check his vehicle for evidence, they discover a blood-covered jacket. The blood tests positive for Maureen Prescott's. At the preliminary hearing, Sydney testifies that the jacket was the same one she saw a man wearing leaving their residence on the night of September 28th. Cotton is in prison and awaits the death penalty. On September 25th, 1996, a series of deaths begins with the murder of 18-year-old Stephen Orth and 17-year-old Casey Becker, both Woodsboro High School students. The following day, Principal Arthur Hembry is found murdered in his office. On Friday, the serial murders add 17-year-old Tatum Riley and 31-year-old Kenny Brown. Then, on the 1-year anniversary of Maureen Prescott's murder, Billy Loomis and Stu Mocker confess to Sydney Prescott they murdered her mother. The killers attempt to frame Sydney's father, Neil Prescott, for the murders, but are stopped by news reporter Gail Weathers, and both are murdered by Sydney Prescott. In December 1997, someone is going to take their love of sequels one step too far. Part 1, Thursday Night. Chapter 1, Scary Movie. On a chill Ohio night, an endless line of moviegoers fills the sidewalk in front of the Rialto Theater, awaiting the midnight sneak preview of Stab. Phil Stevens and Maureen Evans, both 22-year-old biomedical mid-seniors of the local Windsor College, stand amongst the crowd. Maureen, not impressed with Phil's idea of a date, looks off and comments, "I hate scary movies. I should be studying. You know I got a bio due." "Baby, did I mention that these tickets were free?" Phil says, trying to convince his girl. "Sandra Bullock's playing right down the street. Nobody want to pay $7.50 to see some Sandra Bullock shit? Unless she's naked." "Oh, but you will sit through a movie called Stab." Phil holds her close and whispers to her, "It's adrenaline, Maureen. It's good to be scared. It's primal, you know what I'm saying?" "No, I'm gonna tell you what it is, okay? It's a dumbass white movie about some dumbass white girls getting their white asses cut the fuck up, okay? Yeah, I suppose Sandra Bullock is myth ethnicity, right?" "Well, no, all I'm saying is that the horror genre is historical for excluding the African American element. When the hell you get your PhD in black cinema, Sister Soldier?" "Listen, I read my Entertainment Weekly, okay? I know my shit." Phil moves up to the booth, adorned with the mask and cloak of the Stab killer, and hands the 2 tickets, continuing to bicker. "Yeah, Maureen, I read my Black Beat too, honey." He jokingly looks at the theater attendant. "Tonight we're going to have an all-black movie, all-black cast, all-black wardrobe, black eyes, everything. Black-eyed peas, black cats." "You crazy," Maureen replies, shaking her head. "Hi, here you go." Another theater attendant, manning the entrance, handing Maureen a package. "What's this?" "Stab souvenirs. The studio sent them," explains the attendant, handing Maureen and Phil each a complete costume and glow-in-the-dark hunter's knife of the titular Stab killer. "Ha! And it's white." Phil chuckles at Maureen, then thanks the attendant. Entering Theater 1's double doors, Phil and Maureen are surrounded by over 300 horror fans, many of whom are fellow students, chattering, screaming, and laughing in their Stab souvenir costumes to the goth rock blasting from the speakers lining the walls. As they make their way down the aisle, they split from each other, dodging a costume-adorned viewer, chasing a screaming girl for fun from the theater. Maureen rolls her eyes and looks up to Phil, saying, "Very romantic." Above, the chaos explodes with a metallic slicing effect, highlighting the Stab logo. Lightning effects flash across the room as a floating ghost face flies up the theater on a wire, controlled by an attendant standing along the back. The screen reads, based on the book, The Woodsboro Murders by Gale Weathers. As the lights begin to dim, the audience awes at their souvenir knives glowing in the darkness of the theater. With a hushed spread of silence, the scary movie begins. The shot pans up to a large one-story home of an obviously lucrative family. Through the dark of night, the lights shine out over the lawn. Inside, getting ready for a shower, is 17-year-old Casey Becker, portrayed by the gorgeous Heather Graham, of whom the audience hoots and hollers for. A man hollers, "Woo! Take it off!" And as if the actress could hear him, her robe hits the floor. Maureen, throwing up her free hand not being held by Phil, shouts, "Now why does she gotta be naked? And what does that have to do with the plot of the story, her being butt-ass naked?" Phil smiles, not taking his eyes off the screen. "I don't know about the plot, but I got a stiff one." Maureen, unimpressed, says, "You better loosen up that wrist." Phil laughs as the movie continues, with a ringing telephone that causes the girl to readorn her robe, causing disappointed groaning to spread throughout the males in the audience. But in spite of their disappointment, the Ghostface killer jumps right outside her bathroom window. Casey answers the phone. "Hello?" A distorted voice replies, "Hello? Who is this?" "Yes." "No, really, who is this?" "Were you expecting somebody?" "No." Disbelief rising in her gut, Maureen yells, "Bitch, hang up the phone and star 69 his ass, damn!" Phil and the audience, startled, look at her. "Shh!" Back on screen, the conversation continues. "Who is this?" "Who would you like it to be?" "I don't like games, who is this?" asks Casey as a blatant jump scare of Ghostface appears through the sunlight window, causing the theater to rile up. "Look out back. Do you see your boyfriend anywhere?" "I don't even have a boyfriend right now." "Would you like one?" With her interest already lost, Maureen whispers to Phil, "Damn it all, give me some money. I need to get some popcorn." He looks at her. "You got money." "I got my money. I asked for your money." Phil pulls a 10 out of his wallet, handing it to Maureen, and calls her cheap ass. "Thank you," Maureen replies condescendingly. Casey and the distorted caller continue to argue back and forth as Maureen exits the theater, exhaling towards the concession stand. Spooked by the suspenseful horror she just left behind, she breathes deep as she orders a medium popcorn with no butter and a small Diet Pepsi. Two girls, a young blonde and brunette, appear behind her, with the blonde exasperated saying, "That's it, I am not going back in there." Her friend says forcefully, "Come on, you chicken shit, it's just a movie." "No, it's not just a movie. All these kids got killed a couple of years ago in California." Maureen makes her way past more silly college boys playing Ghostface as she peeks back into the movie theater when the closet door flies open. "Ah!" A laughing Phil removes his Ghostface mask as Maureen hits him repeatedly. "You ass!" "I'm sorry, I had to, baby." "What are you playing?" "Would you relax? God, what's wrong with you?" "I don't like being scared. I don't like that." "Baby, it's just a movie. Besides, scary movies are great foreplay." "Excuse me?" Phil sighs. "Let's go see Sandra Bullock." "Oh no, Sandra started already. We can stay, just stop playing so much." Maureen tells him as she leans in, kissing him. He breaks the kiss to tell her, "Alright, I gotta go to the bathroom. See you inside." Back on the big screen, Ghostface is on the attack as a chair explodes through the patio window and the audience screams. Maureen takes her seat, wincing at the sight of the young Casey being chased by her killer. Phil enters the bathroom, where two fully costumed Ghostfaces take up the urinals. Phil, wanting to get back to the movie, enters a stall. As he unzips his pants, he hears a strange moaning from the next door stall. Please don't, I'll be good. I'm sorry, Mommy. I'll tell you. Really, I'll tell you. Mommy, really. I'll tell you why I did it. Mommy, listen. Mommy, listen, Mommy." He laughs quietly to himself and puts his head against the wall to better hear when, slam! He feels the most excruciating pain he's ever felt. He pulls away as a bloody knife blade dislodges from the side of his head. He stumbles down and dies on the bathroom floor as a Ghostface killer appears from inside the stall. Back in the theater, Maureen begs the on-screen Casey to run and get away from her assailant, murmuring repeatedly, "No, don't do that, don't do that. Move, go, run." As expected, Phil sits down next to her wearing his Ghostface mask. Done with his games, she says, "Baby, give it up." "You came back just in time. It looks like she's about to get it. Want some popcorn?" The mask shakes side to side as Maureen continues. See, if that was me, I would be out of there." Back on the big screen, the killer lunges on top of Casey and Maureen screams, "Oh, here it comes! Here it comes!" Grasping Phil's arm, "Here it comes! Oh my God!" Feeling something cold and wet, she pulls her hands away, seeing them covered in red liquid, leaving her thinking, "What the hell?" She screams as a knife flashes from against the light of the movie screen and plunges deep into her gut. She grunts, trying to pull away from the figure now known to her to most likely be the murderer of her boyfriend, too. As Casey is stabbed repeatedly on screen, Maureen makes her way into the aisle as she is stabbed again by the figure wearing Phil's jacket. Most of the audience cheers and shockingly grin as the realistically but staged murder takes place. Although one girl, splattered with Maureen's blood, tries to explain to her friend that this must be real. Adrenaline allowing Maureen to stumble further down the aisle away from her silent and towards the big screen, she's stabbed 2 more times in her flank and back. Her stabber slowly leaves the theater as she makes her way on stage in front of the screen, howling as blood spills out her mouth, sides, and lower back. The audience turns seriously silent as Maureen hits the stage floor, very much dead.